What is a Reed Harrison?
What is a Reed Harrison? A Reed Harrison is a unit of measurement by which writing can be determined. Such as, I've written an entire Reed Harrison today. A Reed Harrison indicating a significant body of work equal or more to a third or say over a half of a televisional series.
A televisional series.
Yes, I realised that as soon as I said it, but frankly, I don't care at this point.
But frankly, that should be a word.
Televisional, yes.
Televisional.
If you can't guess, I can't speak still. There's...
It's fine. It's fine, dear.
What's my stomach's making weird noises? It means it probably wants more water. And it's also complaining because it's got nothing but water in there. Anyway, so that episode was weird.
That was incredibly strange.
It was a whole lot of... what? We had... what was it called? It was called... It wasn't me, it was One-Armed Hedgehog or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
It wasn't me, it was the One-Armed Hedgehog.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, there was not a One-Armed Hedgehog. If Metal Sonic was like trying to like repair his arm.
Is that a reference of some kind?
It wasn't me. It was the One-Armed Man.
Exactly.
Is reference to the story behind the fugitive and the person involved in that whose name I can't recall at this moment in time because my brain's going. But that was the famous statement that he wasn't the killer. It was actually a one-armed man that killed his wife.
That killed him. That would be pretty. That would be an interesting story.
Richard Kimball, Dr. Richard Kimball. Which actually is a story that ends in a very sad way, because even though he insisted all along, he actually ended up not being able to get much of a job anywhere, and he actually ended up becoming a wrestler, believe it or not. With a sort of Dr. Death character, because he was Richard Kimball, and therefore he was the doctor who killed his wife. So he basically ended up having to be a gimmick.
His gimmick was based on his wife's death.
A gimmick of his own tragedy, in order to actually survive for a living. So yeah, that's depressing. Welcome to the Sonic Boom Post Show. Let's start with cats. Cat, what things about that episode were good? What parts of the episode made you sort of just raise an eyebrow? And was there anything specifically? Okay, this is bad.
There is some high quality Knuckles going on.
Can we have anything but high quality Knuckles at this point?
Some very specifically high quality Knuckles. The basket thing is wonderful. The basket is specifically quite wonderful.
Just a bit afterwards, he didn't want to lose. There's a posse on your Sonic's tail. He didn't want to lose Sonic.
Lose you.
It was very sweet, and then there was the little callback, to the Team Knuckles, Team Sonic argument.
Yeah. It was so good.
Anything else?
But when you think about it, this episode is very, very strange in general.
Such as what bits were particularly strange?
Okay, so Eggman has suffered a crime, so Sonic is there at his house just to sit on his couch. Meanwhile, there is a tour guide. There is a tour happening of Eggman's base, which seems like a very odd thing to do with a villainous base. But I suppose you can get away with it if, you've got the whole town believing you're a good guy. Which, is that so surprising at this point, actually, considering Eggman is everybody's best friend?
At this point, I was very pleased when I found out. When I saw that Knuckles didn't intend on trying to capture Sonic the entire time, and that he was really trying to just find him so he could help him, that really did... That was nice to see. Not just because of how sweet it was, but because it shows that the writers are not abiding to all tropes. Like, and they're it's like I said, usually with the character that Knuckles similar to, usually with a character that's similar to Knuckles, they'll always make the guy like just go along with stuff, and usually that entails if he just happens to be there when they're talking about the character going into trying to get arrested or something like that, they're trying to arrest them, they'll just go along with it no matter how rude or jerkish it is. But this time, in this case, it was the exact opposite. And I'm very, very glad to see that. Because even though Knuckles is stupid and he may be blunt, he still knows, you know what, these are my friends. I should be there for them.
Yeah, speaking of that, where were Sonic's other friends? Where was Tails? Sonic's...
And Amy.
Sonic's brother. Where's Amy?
This is an extremely concentrated script of characters.
Where's Styx? Actually, never mind Styx. But it's like Sonic's little brother did nothing to help, and Sonic's biggest supporter did nothing to help.
And you think Styx would be all over this conspiracy?
Styx would be screaming that it would be a conspiracy. So why didn't we have Styx saying about how it wasn't Sonic, it was robots and something like that, so we could have Styx? That should have been in there. Absolutely perfect time. It's like doppelganger robots. They're coming to replace us all, and you could have just had that. I mean, it's absolutely perfect, and you didn't do it. Oh, that would have ticked like every single box for Styx in terms of what you can do.
The reason I'm doing this picture this week is because I thought that. That sounded like a perfect title for an episode involving Styx. It's sad that she's not in it, but hopefully I will provide extra Styx. If you give me a moment to sniffle.
It's another one of those things, though, isn't it? Where it's like if this episode had, because this is one of the things that again confuses me with the Metal Sonic thing. Because I thought with Metal Sonic, we were told that when Metal Sonic, that Sega would consider anything with Metal Sonic or Shadow appearing as big deals. And we got Metal Sonic.
It's not that big a deal.
And it wasn't even a medium deal. The reveal of Metal Sonic was terrible. It was just like, there's something moving in that shed. Cut back. Metal Sonic is standing there.
What was that thing in the shed?
It was Metal Sonic, supposedly. But it was like Metal Sonic supposedly, he was like, and then it just like cuts. It was just like a clean cut. And then just Metal Sonic just standing there. It's like dramatic reveal. So it's like there's no dramatic reveal. You just cut back and he's standing there. That's bad.
No, really, what is going on in this shed? That's a major question.
Why does Metal Sonic even need to hide out in like a broken down trailer?
No, can you tell me what part of that actually looked like Metal Sonic?
Maybe for all we know, he may have been barricaded in that trailer the entire time. That's why we didn't see him until now. He can't
be barricading the trailer the entire time. First, with Metal Sonic, he can rip through it like his tissue paper. And secondly, he's supposedly been stealing all these things.
Seriously, what is this shit?
I'm more calling BS on the fact that the villagers will take the entire episode to try to find Sonic and arrest him for stealing stuff. But then when they get to Eggman, and it turns out that he's actually been the one behind it, they don't arrest him for the exact same thing they've been pursuing Sonic for this entire episode.
You want to know who that is, Kat? I think I know who.
What is that?
That silhouette can only be one person.
Is that what we're keeping Reed Harrison?
Yeah, is it Reed Harrison? Is that where they're keeping Reed Harrison? To do all these pictures. No, I need to find a decent picture of them.
The thing for me, is like I understand.
Hello.
Oh boy.
You understood, and then Skype decided you would not understand anymore. So basically, Kat, you wondered who that was in the window. Based on the silhouette, I can only deduce that it is Zor from the Deadly Six.
But no, like I was saying along the lines of, I understand that that the villagers might be intimidated because Eggman.
I see where you're going with that.
Yes. Thank you.
But seriously, if that's meant to be Metal Sonic, it moves as well. That's certainly not an activated Metal Sonic.
Hey, that looks just like you. Hey. No, it doesn't. That looks like nothing.
Also, you were saying something about shoe prints.
Yeah, so what do I need to say his thing first?
Well, I understand that Eggman's the big bad villain, and the villagers might be intimidated. But so is Sonic. He's big and and powerful too. Like, and the thing is, Eggman didn't even really have any robots around him. Like, he was completely alone. He could have easily been arrested.
Not big,
easily.
Yeah, but Eggman just kicks the bear in the face. Or something, I don't know.
It is because the time something of Eggman's got stolen.
Yeah, at the end of the day...
And if in the end of the day it was a ruse, then nothing got stolen.
But it's like wasting police time. Although, but then again, I don't know.
To be honest, how many times have they dragged Eggman down to the village station to say, you've wasted our time, and Eggman's gone, I don't need you.
The thing is, though, is that Eggman still committed a crime. He still stole their items, and Sonic just simply rescued him. It's no different from Eggman attacking the village with robots and stuff like that.
It was Metal Sonic who stole the items.
But Eggman was the one that's Eggman's robot, though.
Yes, but it is not. But he didn't steal them. He didn't deliver them to Eggman. He kept them. Metal Sonic kept them with him.
Probably because
and this is if we're believing Eggman's story.
But here's where I could understand why Eggman wouldn't want the items, because it would be like if they were on him, the police could have easily found them. But he wanted the items far away as possible, so the villagers couldn't find the items. Potentially find his son.
I think what we can say here is, although obviously the dialogue is very specifically to imply that yes, indeed, Eggman set up everything and it was his plan all along. There is a very specific chance at the same time that he genuinely didn't. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that Metal Sonic just went out and did random things on his own.
And also, we kind of have that setup of the opening.
But the thing is, though, is that
in his house, then realizing something is stolen.
But the thing is, though, is that that's the main series. This Metal Sonic seems a lot more loyal to Eggman than the main series Metal Sonic, who tends to go about his own way. This Metal Sonic doesn't seem to be that way.
It depends. The Metal Sonic before he had his vocal cords essentially ripped out and was turned into a TV for Eggman in the Rival series.
It's just the way things are looking. It seems to me like this Metal Sonic is a lot more loyal to Eggman than the main series Metal Sonic.
This is a rebuild. It's a Metal Sonic rebuild. Because I mean, you're right there. Because continuity. Yes, there was that thing though. You're right, Kat. That Metal Sonic was rebuilt. I mean, but there's the question about what happened to Metal Sonic, Metal Sonic from Heroes.
There's also the question of because I've never played the Sonic Boom games. What the hell was up with him in the Boom games?
He was competent. I think we could say that.
Metal Sonic is Eggman's robot, according to the Rise of Lyric, and Lyric actually kind of controls him at one point, like, and gives him like extra abilities and stuff like that.
Does Lyric
Sonic
also control the player and like make them go on to Metacritic?
No, Kevin, that would be a good game.
They do, like, the heroes do eventually stop Metal Sonic and they destroy him, and then eventually it's not that he gets rebuilt, but he's still alive.
Oh yeah, because there's like a little cutscene, isn't there, where he just like sort of like reactivates Terminator style with
Yeah,
I'll be back sort of thing going on.
Yeah, so he's not necessarily. He was badly beaten up though, but he was still alive and didn't need to be like relaunched or anything.
It's one of the things with Metal Sonic through the series, and that Metal Sonic's never really totally destroyed. There's some part of Metal Sonic that survives, and then that moves on to the next version of Metal Sonic. And we know that Metal Sonic as a character evolved long ago from a mere robotic slave to something that is capable of making its own actions and doing its own thing, and has its own schemes. And it's even though Metal can't speak anymore, which depending upon your point of view is either for the best or a
terrifying.
Shame. We at least that period of time allowed us to know Metal's actual psyche in terms of what's going on and how Metal Sonic is now utterly possessed by his own programming, that he must absolutely beat Sonic, that he now thinks he's the real Sonic and Sonic is the copy. Metal has been driven insane by his own programming, which is kind of terrifying, actually.
It's just even if it was Metal Sonic that was technically behind it and not Eggman, Metal Sonic's kind of not active. They could probably arrest him there. Like do something. Like, I don't care what it was, just do something. This entire episode was them looking for Sonic, looking for the person behind it, and then they finally get an idea who it is, and they don't do anything. They just stand there. They don't say anything. And it just, I don't understand why suddenly all this effort to finding someone, they'll go crazy because of Sonic, but as soon as someone else may be in it, it's suddenly not an issue. Even if it turns out that it was not Eggman or if it was Metal Sonic, it's still not Sonic, and there's your possible victim, your possible mastermind right there. Arrest them. Do something. I don't care what. But they just stand there and let them go.
If Eggman was actually arrested, then, the series might end prematurely.
Well, it didn't necessarily have to be, like, ending with Eggman actually being arrested. Maybe he could escape, Like, I increasingly feel more and more bad for Sonic in this, because it's just, he really does get all the flack from the entire village. And this was, like, to me, like, the end of this episode, it didn't ruin the episode for me, because Knuckles definitely made it for this. He was a highlight for me, but, like, surprise, surprise, but
it wasn't going to be anyone else in this one, I think.
Yeah, it's like Sonic just gets so much flack between, like, the bossiness of Amy, Knuckles' stupidity, Tails' nerdiness, Six's paranoia, the village's absolute, like, jerkishness, disrespect, Eggman being Eggman, like, Sonic just gets deals with so much, and he gets nothing for it in return. Like, I mean, this was really where I was just like, God, I'm so sick of the villagers being just.
My highlight was the mayor getting getting a shoehorn in there.
Honestly, that was probably if that happened more often, where like the villagers got what was coming to them in a way.
They kind of did this episode though. We left them in the wilderness on their own.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like that is why the ending didn't really ruin it for me because they did kind of get what was coming to them.
In my mind is a post-credit scene where they stumble into the Gogaba village, and they think, "Oh, we're safe."
It's like I love this show. It's like I love this show, but the villagers really just like seeing them actually get what's coming to them for once is actually really nice because after everything they've been going, like they've been getting away with this whole series, seeing that happen was really nice to see. As strange as it might be, considering the whole point is like them being saved, they deserve that, to be honest. They really did. But yeah, still though, it was a good episode. I can look at I can look past flaws of like the villagers. I can look past spit, ew, but but like it was genuinely funny. And like I said, that's all I asked for. And also Knuckles was nice and sweet, and
that was a nice. This half of the series has literally, well, this third of the series has literally been the Sonic Knuckles bromance.
Yeah.
Portion of our show.
It's like I said, this show really has blossomed in the span of the past year.
Don't say blossom.
Well, I mean blossomed in terms.
I just remember what happened with the Mad Lib.
Well, I mean blossomed in terms of its quality. It used to be. It's like I said in the pre-show. It used to be that the show was only Sonic, and his friends, and Eggman. That was pretty much it. Now you have all these characters like Percy and Comedy Chimp and Old Lady Walrus and Lady Walrus and all these characters in the village and T.W. Parker and Dave the Intern. It's all these people are like. It's amazing how lively the show has become. And it just shows that the writers made a great move in gradually introducing everyone. It wasn't just, oh, hey, here's suddenly everyone, It kind of reminded me in a way of, like, what they did with SpongeBob back when it first started.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you first saw SpongeBob, you first saw Squidward, then you first saw Squidward, then you got introduced to Patrick, and you got introduced to Plankton, then you got introduced to Mr. Krabs, and all these characters. And it was a gradual thing. It wasn't, like, suddenly, oh, here's everyone all at once,
They did do a decent foundation, I think.
Yeah.
This is one of the times where the scheduling has worked very well.
Yeah.
In that it has allowed that slow build up of characters, and obviously it wasn't an appropriate time to have the Comedy Chimp episode any other time than the other week.
Yeah. That Dave the Intern episode was at an appropriate time. That Comedy Chimp episode was at an appropriate time. Circus of Plunder, which was the one where we saw T.W. Parker, I think that was a good idea in introducing him. Tanner, also a good idea in introducing him, because we didn't know he'd end up being this evil master. Well, we knew he was evil, but we didn't know he was this evil mastermind that, did stuff like help out teen pop stars,
No, that was Crimson Tanner. Don't get your Tanners confused.
Yeah, there's the photographer's assistant Tanner is Tanner. And then there is evil Crimson Tanner, who is not Tanner.
Yeah,
the Tanner is Tanner, except when the Tanner's not Tanner. Get it?
I think so. I will ask Tanner how he feels about this.
Why? What's Tanner got to do with it?
I don't know.
Who's Tanner?
Anyway,
I hear he does podcasts and stuff. I don't know. NLPs. You should check them out. But no,
check out the Tanners.
But yeah, like I saw, thinking back of episode 1 and 2, and even episode 3 and 4, like how different the show is now compared to then. Like it makes me wonder. Season 2 is just going to be, if they do end up doing a season 2, if they have so much to work with now, because They don't have
They don't need to do any setup. No.
They don't need to do any setup now. They have everything right then and there at their disposal. They can just go all out now.
And yet they've still got a lot of the background characters that they can work on and develop.
Yeah, it's not even just the background. Like they still have more they could set up with too.
Yeah, I mean we don't know that much about Lady Goat.
We don't know that much about Lady Walrus either.
We don't really know that much about Lady Walrus and what Lady Walrus's deal is. We will at some point have an episode if we do specifically dealing with the baby.
Yeah,
because it's just a matter of time because we set up the running gag, and actually we've not had that for a while, but we've set that up, and you know there's a payoff there somewhere down the line where that actually gets looked into at a more deeper level. You've got a number of the other characters. I'd like to see an episode with a group of the villagers decide that they're going to emulate the heroics of Sonic and Co. And you can just pick five of the random.
It sounds like just a montage of a lot of people falling over.
Yeah,
it's come and go.
Yeah, I mean, we can just pick five of the villagers who don't.
Come on, Bill. You know your alter ego would do it.
Yeah, pick those, and you can have them be characters voiced by the character that they're emulating. And just take it from there. It's like, see someone trying to be Tails. I think would be quite funny. Can you imagine someone trying to be Sticks?
Oh jeez. Like there's so many episode ideas that they have to work with here, and the fact they.
Well, I think we've come up. I think over the commentaries we've come up with enough.
Yeah.
Really, actually. No.
We come up with enough nonsense.
Genuinely really good ideas actually for episodes over the commentaries. So, but if we can go up with that, I'm pretty certain that a team of trained writers trained professional writers can come up with much better ones and just pouring out. I mean, Reed's written half a series at this point. I would hope. I mean, obviously, if there is a season 2. Obviously, more Denton and Han would be nice. We need more Sam episodes. That's a given, I think. Yes, guys.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, like at least 3 episodes, I think, from Sam. One per hiatus.
I really would love to see, just how season 2 would carry out, because really, I think they deserve it. I do think they deserve it. The writing is absolutely fantastic, and I can tell that as the show had finally, after they had finished setting things up, that's when I feel like the show hit its stride, and it's gotten really good. And
I think though that they will definitely need to go, okay, well. In terms of writing, they actually will need to go, okay, well, you're writing this many episodes, you've got to write 2 about Sonic, you've got to write 1 about Tails, you've got to write 1 about Knuckles, you've got to write 1 about Amy, you've got to write 1 about Sticks, or something like that. And then this one, or the one about Eggman, or of course. But I think that they have to make sure that the other 4 characters are served well. Or let me put it this way: that the other 4 characters are served more equally.
Yeah, I think if they do have a season 2, I do think that's the main issue right now. It's not the humor. The humor is great. It's not the writing. I think the writing is good. It's just the one flaw I think the writing has had, it's that some characters are getting more attention than others.
I can understand why it's funner to write for Knuckles.
It's funner to write. That's the best word. Actually, keep that.
Are we going to have this every time?
Fun goals. Fun goals.
It is much more enjoyable to write for Knuckles. Thank you, fastidious cat. There is. It's probably easier to write for, obviously, for Sonic and Knuckles and Eggman. And it's also probably easier to write for the characters who are the villagers, actually, because they're not bound by as many rules for writing. But because it's a bit more difficult doesn't mean don't do it.
There's things you can do. Like, I think the episode that we got today, as of this recording, shows that you can work with Tails, depending on the plot. Like Tails' Crush, for example. That's another episode where you can that it's possible to work with Tails. It is very possible to get Tails' attention.
So in other words, we're screaming, "Right, Tails!"
Right. The
hashtag save Tails.
Hashtag save Tails. What I don't know what the thing is here. But it's like, the character's not in a good place to, if the character's not in a place where you can write them in the way that you want to write them, you're the writers. Write them into that position, and then you can.
See, here's the thing for me. Like, I can understand, out of everyone on the main cast, I can definitely see why Styx doesn't really get that much attention, even though she's become like the face of Sonic Boom.
She became the face of Sonic Boom. She appeared in 2 episodes. She had 2 episodes.
She's appeared in
episode 5. She was done.
Yeah, they basically relegated her for the most part to like one-liners, of paranoia or just agreeing with the others or whatever. Like, the thing for me is, like, I can understand why though, because with Styx, there's not quite as much to work with compared to, say, Tails.
But again, then this is why we said right at the beginning was, you have to establish the character.
Yeah.
You have to make the character more than this character is a paranoid character, so that you can then write off from there into other directions and investigate the character a bit and show new sides to the character. But if you don't make the platform to do that, you are just left with government robots are gonna take all our brains and all our tax dollars are gonna go, and that's all you've then got. I mean, they've got that down wonderfully.
To be fair, they did establish that he's also a survivalist. Like, there was My Fair Stixie that made it out that she wasn't ladylike and stuff like that, and then there was the survivalist episode with Amy where they were racing. I forgot the name of it off the top of my head. I think it was Brodown Show. No, that's the one I did recently.
Don't worry about her. She's actually very nice.
Into the Wilderness, that's what it was.
I think we said actually in the commentary that actually just summed up Styx with the entire series, wasn't it? It was almost like the writers acknowledgement of Styx to the audience of, yeah, don't actually worry about this crazy character. She's a nice character. But that's all. But it was also interesting. That was all that those characters had to say about her, because that was pretty much the entire detail of the character. Like, wah! Don't worry, she's nice. That was it. That's the entirety of Styx. Styx needs season 2. Tails needs episodes. Sticks need direction.
The thing is that they did give Six that survivalist, like, what was it? The survivalist. What's the word? Like, survivalist instinct character, like tribal in a way. Like, she has that with her. They established it. It's just they've done nothing with it. Like, they've had 2 episodes where they made this a thing. Somewhat 3, with the moose one, but like they have not done anything otherwise. Like, it's been basically like in an episode, Six is there, says a line, sometimes paranoid, sometimes just agreeing with the crew, like with the heroes, and then you don't hear from her again for the rest of the episode. Like, it's like, why? I don't understand. But at the same time,
sorry.
No, so like, but at the same time, it's like I can sort of understand because it's like there's not more they could really work with. Like, she's a survivalist and she's paranoid, but other than that, she really doesn't have anything else going for her. Like, that's pretty much her. Whereas with Tails, he's a nerd, but there's a lot more they can work with because they haven't really worked with it.
With Tails, there's a lot of historical stuff and a lot of stuff that's tied in with the characters. Like, we know he's the brains of the outfit, and we know that there's a little bit of a rivalry between him and Eggman, and we know that there's apart from he's an inventor, we know that he's smart, we know that he's shy, we know that he's got that hero worship thing with Sonic, and we know there's the relationship there, which is big brother, little brother, and whatever. We know that he's the sort of hero in the background. There's and we also know that Tails has a life. We know that Tails is like a respected scientist sort of globally from other things. I mean, Unleashed showed us that, hey, Tails converses with scientists and people from all over the world, and people want to know what his thoughts on things are, and it'll be interesting. And there's stuff you can do there. I've sort of like, hey, Tails is the character that can fly. There you go. Do something with that. Tails develops a fear of heights.
It's just,
or Tails injures his tails and he can't fly, and it starts to freak him out a bit.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that, like, with Tails, they haven't done enough with him. With Sticks, I think they've gone as far as they could.
Which is
don't really make
not far.
It just baffles me as to why some characters get more attention than others. Like, for example, Knuckles has had so many episodes about him.
But all of those episodes have kind of spread and increased Knuckles' character. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff underneath that we've mentioned and seen about Knuckles Knuckles in his own way showing his vulnerability about things, and I mean, like we said, with the daydream with the Scottish peppers and things like that. That showing that actually Knuckles was very, very insecure about who he is within his friends, and him not being particularly smart and how he knows, and there's other things Knuckles has said which is sort of preyed on that, really, and how he is, how his friends mean so much to him. That we've seen that, and how he does just want to go and have fun, but how he is serious. Hey, he's a ladies' man as well, and we've seen that side of Knuckles. We've seen that he does have an ego, by his
it's
own
deserved.
By his own admission, which is kind of deserved. There's a sort of the loyalty thing with Knuckles. There's this episode, and I honestly believe this is probably very unintentional. This episode showed one of the traditional Knuckles character elements, which is that Knuckles is a tracker, Knuckles is a treasure hunter, Knuckles can find things. And what I found interesting when he was doing that in this episode, Knuckles, Knuckles licked a stick and has been licking sticks and flying around, but Knuckles wasn't exactly, unsure. He was literally just, Sonic spin this way. And it's all, yes, funny because Knuckles licked a stick, but at the same time, Knuckles then pretty much short after find Sonic. So
Knuckles was right outside.
Yeah, Knuckles found Sonic. Not just once, but twice. Because Knuckles finds Sonic, Sonic runs off. Knuckles then somehow catches up to Sonic, and then puts a bigger basket over his head. But
that's glorious, though. I love that.
But the point is that it's like we show that this Knuckles is also a hunter, or a treasure hunter, a tracker, however you would like to term it, which is a traditional aspect of the Knuckles character. So so that's another thing. Amy's gone from sort of overly protective mother hen to bipolar menace.
Yeah, I'd say that sums things up well.
Actually, yeah, should we just have that as like the official thing? Amy Rose, overly protective mother figure, bipolar menace. It's weird how that character just goes from very nice and calm talking to just I am going to rip out your throat in the blink of an eye. But they've done some interesting stuff with Amy actually, and I like that none of it has been really to do with Sonic. And we haven't had an Amy episode about Amy and Sonic. Or Amy.
We've had jokes about it, but we haven't had jokes about it.
We've had jokes and references about it, which is good. And I think the best one was with the was in Translate This with the robot and going, the robot's going to spill the beans like somehow Sonic doesn't already know. And the sheer desperation of that was nice. Right. Oh, I think we've come to an end, guys. I really do. It's been...
Yeah, we've been going on for quite a bit.
Yeah. Anyway.
But this does show that we do have a huge interest in
Shall we end this now and then in a couple of minutes when I finish this?
Then you can say, okay, so we're going to end the show now, guys. What we'll do though is, so in summary, I think we can say that this show was unusual. Metal Sonic was a bit wasted. a bit wasted on it. In terms of significance, reveal, and pretty much everything. Eggman was a delight.
Eggman's beautiful. Thank you for half giving me the musical episode and then not giving you the musical episode a day.
We will make a supercut, I think, episode, which will just be Mike singing all the way through, and that will be our musical episode. And then it'll be played out by Dreamboat Express, and everything will be fine.
Will it include Boom Shadow? Which was that glorious and mysterious thing?
That I think you'll find that will be the end credits theme.
Yeah.
Yes. So tune in at some point in the future for Mike Pollock Sings, a special, which will only be found on the pre-show. So it won't be on the podcast. No. We'll sort it out sometime, maybe. But we'll see. If you don't know what Boom Shadow is, by the way, look it up. Boom Shadow Mike Pollock. Because he wrote a song about it. Wrote a parody song about it.
Oh, yes.
And a very good one it was too. So, and yeah, otherwise this episode, the thing that stands out most from this episode is Metal Sonic appeared, and there was a reason. There was a reason. Knuckles licked sticks, but not in that way. And yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you when you're older. There's nothing else to say apart from, again, where is Reed Harrison? What have you done with him? Give him back. His family would like to see him. For now, though, here's Kat's drawing of... describe the drawing, Kat, because your request to describe the drawing is going to be up after we've finished recording. Describe what it is, Kat.
I'm scribbling thoughts. I'm scribbling too many thoughts. Too many thoughts for one head. Help me.
Describe what
Help
the image
me,
looks...
Kevin.
Describe
Help
what...
me, Kevin!
Kevin, why don't you describe what the image looks like that you can't see? Okay, Kevin, I'll do that.
Stop, I meant you little.
Can you describe what the image looks like? Seriously? Please?
Conspiracy 101.
The image is of Reed Harrison.
No, it's not. Reed Harrison is the blackboard or whatever it's being. Okay, so it is Styx discussing conspiratorial views with Nika, her voice.
There we go.
There we go. So that's the next one in the series. And by the sound of things, Kat has become involved in the network of conspiracies which are appearing on the blackboard. So it's probably a good idea that we kind of fade out at this point in time to the music and to the end, to the video end slate on the LMC video. Thank you very much indeed. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And also enjoy this obviously lovely piece of artwork. I think Kat's gone slightly gaga. We'll be back for episode. Me and Donnie will be back for episode 45. Kat, we will see about.
Cat's rebelling.
Nurse.
Hello, nurse.
I'm just gonna keep just wait until you're done. We'll be back next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Last Minute Continue for all the things. Go to sonicboom.tv and then you can find the list of everything that's going on in terms of the commentaries. Donnie, you have something to say?
Lady Cat.
What, you didn't even go for polecat face?
Popper Catsy?
Catsy come home. Right,
we should probably stop this before we lose it.
Forget Reed Harrison. Please send help for me. Seriously, can someone please help? I'm stuck here. Oh, God. Good night, everybody.
Bye.